been stopping by Guitar Center a few times to play the bass guitar horribly, and I know there's nothing more annoying to hear than picking up a new instrument. I'm not the exception, I'm sure, but as I learned from karaoke nights, you stay on rhythm and sing on key to the song even if you don't know the lyrics. You can get by with the basics, and you'll either be white noise that isn't drawing negative attention, or people will sing aloud with you. But the first step is always the hardest. So, at first, I see someone sitting up there, which I'm stoked about because two people having fun playing together kind of gives me some more time to get a feel for an instrument I've always liked but never truly tried to play. The guys that were sitting there were just as inexperienced as me. Still, I'm almost certain that he didn't just pull an 11-hour day running around prepping homes for the city inspector and correcting the water, gas and abs in all the kitchens because the interior designer decided that a different set of cabinets would be better for the models that are about to be inspected. Luckily, I'm paid hourly. But anyway, this guy and I are bouncing our ideas on how to strum, pluck, and slap this instrument. I'm sure it was a glorious sound of the blind leading the blind, but everything eventually ended. It was quite funny because we had so much fun. I could see it on his face that he didn't want to leave just yet, and it reminded me of picking up a child from daycare. But now, once again, it's just me playing, and I'm trying to figure out how to play this thing hooked up to the $1,000 amp I'm not going to buy. Then Connor finally picks out the guitar he's going to play, which is a beautiful Strat, and he spots a Marshall cabinet with an Eddie Van Halen stack. He then proceeds to play a few Jimmy songs, and now I'm trying to strum one note but stay on rhythm to help him go bananas on his side of the store, as he slips in and out of some really sweet guitar solos. I'm sure I wasn't helping, but I figured it would be good practice. Then, as Connor decides to turn it down and returns to practice soloing or just decides to go back and shop for a new pedal he wanted to buy, I see a man walking up. I can't make out his face. I say hello to him, and he introduces himself, but I don't hear him. I wasn't going to make it obvious I couldn't hear him because, 1, I'm sure he'd have to scream at me. My ears were shot from sitting in front of the amp. He then proceeds to tell me he works there and teaches lessons, and at this point, I'm sure he's about to ask me to put down the bass and turn off the amp. I'm sure it's been quite annoying hearing me strum with only 2 fingers while practicing sweeping down the fretboard. It reads cool, but I assure you it was repetitive. He then told me that he would play 5 strings from the top rack, so I turned down my bass because I started to turn everything on my end. I knew I didn't know what I was doing, and I could mimic how he frets and strums, which would give me a major head start to playing the bass guitar more confidently and be more pleasant for others. But now he's sitting closer to me, and I hear a familiar voice. I can barely recognize him or make out his face because of the mask we all have to wear. When he started to play, I began to study his every movement while he was strumming. He started playing the beginning riff to a Primus song, and to be honest, I didn't know that it was played with the side of your thumb and then strumming up with your fingers in a corresponding rhythm of a horse or a person nervously watching the clock at a desk waiting for their shift to be over. Then, he plucked a harmonic after. It was strange because I'd never understood how someone played an instrument like that. I took a few guitar classes in high school and honestly left that class learning, I think, Mary Had a Little Lamb, the intro to Raining Blood, and how to set up stage equipment. But I'd like to say that after about 10 to 30 minutes talking and watching him play, I retained more than ever. I swear I met this guy. I forgot to ask his name, or I just didn't hear him, but I'm 90% sure I know him. I think it may be a friend's brother. I didn't ask, though, because if it were her brother, I'd feel bad for not remembering his name. It's even worse that I missed his name in the first place, but I do not remember his name after he told me just after introducing himself. I was worried he would think not listening to his introduction and asking him at this point would be quite disrespectful. Of course, Connor was nowhere to be seen. I'm sorry, nice guitar salesman, for not getting your name, but if you find this one day, please know that I like to cover tool due to irregular measures, and it kind is difficult to play with others but still fun.
Oh, I'm getting ready for a fight, gonna see what them rappers can do. Now this Joe bustling me from my state, the DA can get no relief. Gonna be a rumble out on the promenade. And the grand commissioner's hanging on by the skin of his teeth. Well, I guess everything dies, baby, that's a thing. With everything it does, some big cones finish. So put your makeup on, face your hair pretty. And won't you meet me tonight in Atlantic City? Well, I got a job trying to put my money away. I got debts that no honest man can pay. So I drew what I had from that Central Trust, and then I bought us 2 tickets on the Gold City bus. I guess everything dies, baby, that's a...
So why you guys got Josh the broken guy so hard?